Hello, we are here as the Candi Crush group, presenting to you the results of our discussion over the past few weeks. First of all, what are we tackling here? First problem is definitely coral reef damage, which is caused by destructive fishing practices, global warming, and reduction in water quality due to pollutants. Around 30.4% of coral in Indonesia's waters are actually damaged. Thus, this causes shoreline erosion, which is a huge problem, namely because the coral acts as a natural barrier to dissipate waves through friction. Even more surprisingly, coral reefs can also prevent seafloor erosion through the accumulation of coral skeletons and sediment. Loss of these reefs can cause the seabed to actually sink. So what are the SDGs we want to target? First is the 14th, which helps life underwater, like marine animals, gain a new place to call home amidst human activity. Next is the 9th, in which we want to develop sustainable solutions through innovation.
So, to help address these problems, our group devised a plan called Candi Crush. Now, Candi Crush aims to hit both birds with one stone, those birds being coral reef loss and coastal erosion. Recognizing the fact that coral reefs play a major part in tourism, especially for Indonesia and its coastal areas, we decided to take inspiration from Indonesian cultural elements and heritage, namely, in this case, Candi Borobudur, to add interest but also to give a sense of honor to these cultural objects. And then, in addition, recognizing the way coral reefs work and their key role in the ecosystems of coastal areas in Indonesia, we emulated several elements of the coral reefs and implemented them to our solution by adding features like crevices and large surface areas and other ecosystem building elements from coral reefs to our solution.
For our inspiration of the design of artificial reef, we took inspiration from Candi Borobudur, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Indonesia's most recognizable landmarks. We seek to imitate this timeless beauty and intricate design of this historic Buddhist monastery so that people will not forget about it.
Initially, we plan to use aquascape pots stacked up similarly to how the temple is built. Although clay and gypsum is environment friendly and has holes entered to reduce water pressure, the size is too small for most species to enter, and it can potentially dissolve and sway underwater. We tried sculpting it manually, but it was too flexible and thin, especially the tip of the stupa, which can easily break apart. The problem with the design is the sharpness, sudden elevation in height, and pressure is rather increased than reduced, and a vortex forms around the top. So to reduce this with the principle of stability and pressure drag, which is influenced by the pressure stress and friction stress, we increase the surface area and alignment of surface to direction of water flow to prevent backflow, and also reduce the degree of elevation of the tip of the stupa and increase inlets to prevent formation of vortex. Friction stress is highly influenced by fluid viscosity, so we have to produce frictional force to minimize the pressure by making the surface more continuous yet rough or unevenly patterned.
And after the design process, here is our final design. Notice that the individual stupas have their tips removed and they are arranged likewise in a rectangular formation similar to that of the real Borobudur temple. The large amount of stupas also helps with increasing friction, thus breaking the waves. We hope that this design can be implemented all throughout Indonesian coastlines using cheap materials like biomodified concrete or limestone in the hopes that it will help conserve Indonesia's marine wildlife and shoreline.